Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. It has been a long time since I have uploaded a new video for you guys, and this is Houseplant Tour 2017. I have made one last year, and I think it's now time to make another one. And unfortunately I've lost a handful of orchids and some succulents last year due to overwatering. I was constantly away from home most of the time, and it was my husband who were taking care of them. And then when I came back home, my plants were sitting on a smelly water that the roots were beginning to rot, so I had to do a emergency repotting of every plant. So let's start with this new succulent pot. This is 2 weeks old and it does not have a drainage, and I made a temporary drainage. This hollow part here, I filled it up with stones and then I covered it up with a piece of my old nut milk bag. It will prevent the soil from eroding and filling this spot here. So I kind of played around with different textures. These pebble stones here are bigger and polished ones, and then I have some smaller ones here. I've decorated it with some bigger stones and some seashells and a piece of shiny the orange colored stone to bring out the color, to tie up the color, and also a piece of a twig over here. So, and this one here is a 2-year-old cactus, and I constantly have to turn it so every angle could get a fair amount of direct sunlight each day. And then this is the newest orchid I have, a miniature one. My husband got this for me for our 4th wedding anniversary last week. And then this bamboo orchid here, as you can see, it is at the end of its blooming season, and there's one left still hanging, but I think it's gonna fall off any time now. So this is a 2-year-old bamboo orchid, and it bloomed for twice now, and it really looked beautiful when all of the spaces here were full of white blooms, white big blooms like that. So as you can see, some of that are still here. So my plants are scattered all over the house, and it's going to be a lot of work for me if I gather the plants all together in one space. So I have decided to just take you with me. And so this is a big pot. This is new, but the plants are not new, not that new. We have a fairly small space. We have a small home, and it was looking very cluttered when individual plants filled up every free space that we have. So I've decided to put them in a bigger pot altogether, and I have to trim off the leaves of this Dracaena over here because it was cascading and covering the space for other plants down here. So this space here is a special space for us. This is where we do our prayers as a family in the evening. So this space gets some fresh flowers, and whenever my orchid, I don't have any orchid that is in bloom, I get a new one like this, and the special spot is always here. So this is, let's put this out of the way. I got a few vases of flowers because it was our 4th wedding anniversary last week, and my husband loves getting me flowers, but I prefer to get plants, that way they last longer. So this is a purple phalaenopsis, and I got this in December, and look at that, it's been 5 months that it's blooming, though there are only 3 flowers left, but it's amazing it lasted that long. And now let's move on to my, I am very careful with this one because, oh, it's gone, my screen is gone, so there. And this is a new pot as well. I put this up together for our dining table. So I got this from Cuttings, and I am happy that they're thriving. It's a week old, and this is an old ceramic pot, and I had a difficult time drilling at the bottom to give it a permanent drainage, and I think I made a mistake of the grouping of this one because this looks like a jungle cactus more than a desert cactus. It doesn't have any spindle on it. So anyway, let's move on to, I have to climb up, my kitchen windowsill. So this is a very healthy Clivia plant I got in December. It's got a deep orange colored bloom, and I repotted it because the roots were beginning to peek out at the bottom. So I've just used terracotta pot for this one, and it's got a very healthy strap like leaves. And look at that. I think I am getting another flowers very soon, so that will be another video, an update. So this is, these two are I've been trying to grow herbs in my kitchen, but this one did not have a drainage, so I had to drill a hole at the bottom last week, and then hopefully I will have some mint leaves, fresh mint leaves in my kitchen this summer. And if you could see, this is a recycled colander. We got this from a cheap shop actually, and when I used it for the first time, these metal coatings started to peel off, and I did not want to throw it away. It has a very good drainage system, so I thought I'll recycle it. And you can see over there, yeah, and I'm getting more of it. It's actually basil and some parsley in it. So let's move on to my Slumbergera over here. These are the jungle cacti. This is the red variety, and the pink variety, and the white one with a tinge of pink at the edges. So this, in its wild habitat in the forest, they grow underneath the shadow of big trees. So this space here does not have any direct sunlight. The corridor does not have a window, but it gets fair amount of bright light from over here, from the bathroom window. So up here, then I have to climb up. Yeah. So this is a 2-year-old Boston fern, and this was originally positioned in our living room, but in the winter time the heater was constantly on, and apparently the edges of the leaves turned brown. So, and surprisingly, when I moved this plant into the bathroom, look how healthy the leaves now, even the edges. It's so green and no hint of burned leaves or anything. So I changed the holder to a more taller one because the leaves were cascading and up to here and covering the beauty of my button ferns. This is a survivor. It suffered from drought last year. It was not getting enough water, and I was going to throw it away, and then I saw some new shoots at the base, and I thought I'm gonna wait. So I'm happy to see that it's recovering. And if you could see here, there are some my ferns shed some leaves every day. I have to clean it up. Not a lot though. Yeah. So over here, I did some laundry today. So, oops, that's my phone, but it could wait. So this is a air plant. I got this last year, and it was just a small bunch, but then it's growing rapidly, and I've decided to split it into 3 small bunches, and it's getting really long now. So this is a recycled necklace, which I no longer use. I don't like throwing things away, so it looks like a hair cascading. Beautiful. And this is a dramatic color, a croton, I think it is called, and it likes a lot of sunshine, but it likes a lot of moisture. So I think I've made a mistake with the groupings again, because this is a succulent and it does not need a lot of water, but we will see. for the meantime they stay together. And this is another air plant that I have, Tillandsia. So I've decorated it with some crushed glass and some decorative stones, a twig, and some bigger white stones, because on its own it looks a bit dull. As you could see, it's grayish green color. Yeah. So over here, this is a Haworthia and a Gasteria. So these two does not like direct sunlight, and it thrives in a more shady area with some bright light. I put this in a windowsill for a few months last year, and the leaves turned brownish purple kind of color, and I thought it was dying. And so this is another Christmas cactus. It is called the Christmas cactus because it blooms during the holiday season where the daylight is shorter, so it likes dark spaces. And let's move on to another room. So over here I have a Sansevieria, a mother-in-law's tongue. That's easier. So this space gets a little bit of direct sunlight in the morning and a lot of bright lights all throughout the day. And this is a 4-year-old plant. It was this tiny plant when my friend gave it to me, and look at that. It's not fully opened yet, but it's a very beautiful color of greenish orangey shade, and it constantly blooms. I think this is the 4th bloom this year alone. And this, oh goodness me, that's my husband calling. And this is another succulent pot. So again, I played around with the different texture of stones, and I think this is a sedum, and I like it. It's very small with very dainty leaves. That's my laundry. I did some laundry today, and these are all my orchids. This is a Cymbidium. I have this for 2 years now, but I only saw it bloom once, and it is in an active growth stage. It's giving me 2 pseudobulbs over here, if you can see that. This one is a yellow dancing lady, and this one is a crimson one, and this one is like a bit of both color. And I have another Phalaenopsis here, a yellow white variety. And this is my ficus plant, a variegated one. So this is 2-year-old, and it was this tiny when we first got it. And the thing with plant is when you buy them and it's a new plant, it's cheaper, but when you buy it and it's fully grown like this, it's a lot more expensive. it costs more money. So let's move on to another room. Hold on. I'm sorry about that. It's the landline. I think it's my husband. He's on his way home now. I will get that later. So this is a rescued orchid. I got this around Christmas, and it was in a reduced section, and hey, I'm sorry, I'm making a video. I was waiting for it to finish, and then I'll call you back. It's alright. Are you on your way home? Okay then. Yeah, thank you. Is everything alright though? Good. Alright then, safe travels. See you soon. I'm sorry? I did not. I know it's sunny. Let's talk later, darling. I love you. Safe travels, yeah? Okay. No, we're good. We have everything. God bless us. No, darling, we're good. We have everything in the fridge. Yeah. I love you. God bless us. Bye. Alright. So I'm sorry about that because he would never stop calling alternately the landline and the mobile. So like I was saying, this was a rescued orchid, and I got this for £2, I think, and it looked like it was dying, but I'm happy that it recovered. No pseudobulbs or anything, but it is looking healthy. And this one here is a survivor. So this was a victim of drowning last year. I think this is a purple variety of Phalaenopsis, and I'm happy it's recovering. And this is a spider orchid. I think it is also in its active growing period because I'm getting 2 pseudobulbs as well. So this is as well a recycled pot holder from my father-in-law. He was going to throw it away, and I thought I could use it for my orchids. Alright, and let's move into this part here. So this is another big pot which I've tried to crowd with all different plants, and I actually kind of like it. The foliage are healthy and vibrant and so green, and this is a variegated jade plant, and look at this. Each year this money plant are giving me blooms constantly every year. So this is an orangey shade of color, and this is the white one, and this is a 2-year-old photos. Instead of just letting it hang or crawl down like oops, I've decided to get this moss moss pole, I think. Yeah, a moss pole. And then this is a spider plant which I got from my father-in-law, and it's 2 years old. And when he first gave me this, it was this tiny. And another Dracaena here, and I had to trim the leaves because it was hanging down and covering the space for other plants. And on my bedside table I have this tiny pot of succulent. It's this succulent with the funnel-like leaves, and decorated it with some decorative stones. And then let's move on to the other windowsill. So this is a cactus which I got around Christmas, and the flowers are already dry, but they're still looking nice, and it's still hanging out there. So another recycled what do you call this, planter from my father-in-law. This is originally a Christmas decor, and I thought I'm gonna use it for my plants, so there you go. And 2 more cacti over here. So it's hairy, so I don't know what variety of cactus this is, but behind the hairs are the spindles. And same thing with this one, the flowers are already dry. And I actually put the original plastic pot inside this candle holder. This is a recycled candle holder, and it does not have a drainage, so I had to use the white or finer stones as a temporary drainage. And to avoid soil from eroding down and filling this drainage part, I put the original pot as well, but apparently it could not hold the soil. It could not like completely hold the soil, so some soil else are still going down. And what I don't like about a pot that does not have a drainage system is that it's growing molds. It's getting green. I'm getting a moss inside it, and I don't think it is healthy for the plants. And same thing with this one. The original pot is inside, and then I covered the sides with white sand. But I think for the meantime they will stay there because it's looking very pretty. The decorative stones and this recycled glass makes it look like it's a dessert. It is resembled it's resembling a jello. So I think for the meantime they'll stay there. And over here, this is another recycled pot holders. This is originally a shrub, and my husband wanted to throw it away, and I've decided to use it, to put it into use as a plant holders. So another jade plant, and another one over there, over here. Hold on, let me stand up. Yeah, if you could see that I am getting a yellow bloom in this one. And this is another survivor from drowning last year. So this is just a plastic flowers. I got this idea from my father-in-law, and you know, when the orchid finished blooming and it looks a bit plain and it takes a long time for it to bloom again, he got me one, and yeah, so I kind of like it there. And this is a Miltonia, and I think it is also in its active growing stage. As you can see, I'm getting two small pseudobulbs here and another fully developed one here, and down here are just foliage. These was a gift from my father-in-law, and it was growing rapidly that I had to divide it into 3 pots. And another succulent pot over here, and another spider plant, and I think the last one is a rubber tree. So this one is a 2-year-old plant as well, and it was only a few inches tall when we first brought it home. It's got like 4 leaves hanging on it, and look at it now. I think it is the space is, I mean, it's getting bigger, and it's got to move into bigger space. And as you can see, it is getting a really good amount of direct sunlight, because if a variegated plant does not get enough direct sunlight, it loses this variegated color, and all you get is this green part here. So that's it from me today, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.